Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emmanuel. Today we're diving into FastAPI's powerful validation feature using Pydantic's feed function. If you've ever needed to enforce strict rules on your API inputs like setting minimum length regex patterns or custom error messages, then Pydantic Feed is the right choice for you. By the end of this video, you will know how to validate a request using Pydantic Field, and you'll be able to apply it to real-life scenarios. For the sake of this tutorial, we're going to keep it simple by validating just the username and the age. To start with, the first thing we want to do is to import feed from Pydantic. After importing feed from Pydantic, we want to add another rule to what we have before in our class users that extends the base model from Pydantic. And that's where we have to use our field that we imported from Pydantic as well. So what feed allows us to do is to specify our own validation, what we want from the user. For the username that we have, we want a minimum of 2 and the maximum length to be 10. The Pydantic feed allows us to specify this in just one line without adding any additional code. So to do that, what we have to do is feed, then we specify our minimum length, which is going to be 2, and our maximum length, which is going to be 10. So what this code is going to do is going to check if our username is actually a string, and it's going to check the minimum length to make sure it is not less than 2, and to make sure the maximum length is not more than 10. We can as well add a description which will help us in our documentation when we go back to our documentation in Swagger by saying description, say username length must be between 2 and 10. So what this will do is going to add an additional information that the username is supposed to be between 2 and 10 in terms of the length. We can do the same thing for our age by saying we want to check if the age is greater than 0. So to do that, we use feed and we use greater than 0 but less than or equal to 25, and we can add a description as well. Age should be between 1 and 25, and that's all. Now that we've implemented our validation, we can check it out in our Swagger documentation. For the username, we specified that the minimum length should be 2 and the maximum length be 10. And the age, we specified that the age must be greater than 0 and the maximum must be 25. So if we click on this in our Swagger, as you can see, I have the username set to string, so I'm going to change it to TechUX, and I'm going to leave the age at 1 because our validation says it must be greater than 0. So if we execute this, now we're getting our result as expected. User created without any validation issue. But what if we change this to just TE instead of TechUX? I will try to execute again. What this is going to do is the Pydantic feed we check if we are actually fulfilling this minimum length and maximum length. So let's go back to our Swagger. Now I'm going to pass 2 here and execute. Now we're still going to get our results. So what happens if I make the length of the text 1, then I send. Now FastAPI automatically sets in based on what we've set up with the Pydantic feed. Now it's telling us that the username should have at least 2 characters, but we are passing 1. So this makes it easy for you to add an additional layer to your API endpoint. So if we fulfill this by going back to say TechUX, and let's change this from 1 to 30. Remember, in our validation, we said the age is going to be less than or equal to 25, but in our case now, we're checking out for 30. So let's execute. Now, we have an error again. Input should be less than or equal to 25. You can see, and it identified that the body is the age that we're referring to. So the Pydantic feed makes it easy for you to have a bulletproof validation in FastAPI. And that's going to be it for this video. Drop a comment if you would like a deep dive into custom validators, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share this video for more Python tutorials. Happy coding!